So let's say you have an image of a cat where you want to take the blues of the eyes and make them kind of have like an emissive glow in your world. How would we do that? So let me walk you through how that works. First, what I want to do is save this file as a PNG. And I want to use the naming conventions that are required for the worlds imports for the custom model imports. So let's start by going here to File, then we'll go down here to Export, and quick export as PNG. On my desktop, we will give it the name cat underscore BR. That's base color and roughness. So that's what this image is going to represent. The other image that we're going to need out of this is an MEO. And so how would we generate this MEO? So MEO actually correlates to the red, green, and blue channels of a pixel, right? So that's to say, if I want an image to have metalness, then I would need some value in the red channel. If I want it to be emissive, I need it in the green channel. And to have ambient occlusion on certain pixels, I can have the shadow represented by the blue channel. So in this case, we want the E, right? We want that green channel. So let's start by selecting the blues out of this cat's eyes. And what we want to do is convert them to a green color. So let's start by going to this select button here, and we'll select color range. From here, we'll get this pop-up for color range, and it has this drop down here where you can select the sampled colors option. With this, you can use this eyedropper tool to select the colors that you want from the image. So let me pick around here where I know the blue is. And you can see that it's doing a pretty good job of getting some of the blue. But I want a little more. So if I select this plus eyedropper here, I can kind of click around and find some of those other blues that it didn't quite grab. Right? If you're having your selection seems to be grabbing like some of the outline of the cat, try dropping this fuzziness value down a bit. Or even try experimenting with this localized color clusters, which is basically going to make it to where it's only kind of picking off the colors of the areas that you've already clicked on. And if you need like to see like the rest of the image, you can drop down this selection preview. And I currently have it on white matte. That's why you're seeing everything else be white where the rest of the cat is. But if I switch to quick mask, I see like a red version where now I can find those blues that I'm looking for. So whichever way works for you, use that. I'm going to switch back to the regular unlocalized color clusters. And yeah, I think that's a good selection for my blues, right? I can see the preview here. It's looking good. Let me press OK. And we'll see that there is a selection around the blue part of the eye. That's great, because the next step is let's make a brand new layer. And from here, we can select this icon down here, this fill color. We'll select the word fill color. And from here, like I mentioned earlier, right, the green channel is our emissive color, right? So here in this RGB section, I can confirm that, right? There's 0 red value, 255, which is our highest value possible in this color range, for green, and 0 for blue. You know, if you wanted to experiment with different levels of emissiveness, you can try different values on your green here. But I want to see what it looks like on full blast. So I'm going to leave it at 255. And I'll press OK. So here's just one more confirmation. I'll press OK here. Great. And this is one part of it, right? So basically our green channel has been accounted for, right? The area that we want emissive, we've applied the color in the areas where we want that to matter, right? Now the thing about these MEO textures is that the ambient occlusion channel, meaning the blue channel, still needs to have a high value for it to not be very dark in Horizon Worlds. That's to say, if we leave the rest of the image black, meaning there is no blue, red, or green, when we go to import it into Horizon Worlds, we'll see that the model is like completely black. So we do need to input the ambient occlusion, and I'm going to set it to the highest value possible. And the way I'll do that is I'll select a new layer here in the bottom right, and I'll come over here and select the paint bucket tool. In the colors over here, I'll click on the first box up at the top, and I'll have this color picker once again. And remember, like last time, we can select the values that are there. So I'm going to set it to 0 red, 0 green, and blue is 255. I'll press OK. So first I need to deselect the eyes so that I can apply the fill to the whole layer. So let's deselect here, and we'll click on the layer now. Now what I want to do is move those eyes above the blue layer. So I'll click and drag and release it right above the blue layer. And with that green layer selected, I'll switch it from normal blend mode. I'll click this drop down and I'll select screen. What that's going to do is take the colors from the layer that I have now and basically apply them to the ones behind it, right? So in this case, it took the greens that I have and it's applying it to the blue below it, which is perfect because it gives us this cyan color here, which, you know, if we go and do the eyedropper tool up here and we select that cyan color, we can click on the box here and take a look at these values here, right? So it's basically saying, you know, 253 for that pixel that I selected of emissiveness and 255 for ambient occlusion on that specific pixel. So that's great. That's pretty much what we want. Let's export this as a PNG, the same way we did earlier. And this image we'll call cat_MEO. Save it. All right, I'm going to switch to Blender for a moment so I can export this cube that I created. Basically, this is where that image is going to show. I'm just confirming that this cube has a material on it that is named cat. So here I'm confirming that that is the case. So I will file export as an FBX to the desktop. I'm going to name it cat FBX. Okay. And so now let's switch to worlds. I have this world open that has an environment gizmo. At the moment, I have it set to daytime because I want to show you something. Here's a previous attempt at uploading the cat, so I'm going to delete that so I don't get confused. Let's do a new 3D model, and we'll select those files that we generated earlier. Press OK or open, and now let's import them in. Okay, so now that the model has imported, we'll drag it out onto our scene. And right now, you won't really be able to tell, but it is currently showing an emissive lighting a material around those eyes. The way we can see it really pronounced is if we click on our environment gizmo here, and if we switch this over to midnight black, there we can really see it glowing. So that's it. That's all the steps that it takes to get an image like we have with this cat and take its eyes and make them glow in Horizon Worlds. you know, I could take this a step further and maybe add some lighting gizmos so that it's truly beaming some light. But that's probably for another video. I hope this helps. I'll see you next time.